Hi, welcome again to Island Up in Perth. We are on the journey of entering the schools and stopping by. Today we are at Central High School. The man you're seeing on the screen is actually the coach, yes. but he's dressed up today, Mr. Douglas, Jermaine Douglas, coach of Central High School. Mr. Douglas, welcome to Island Up in Perth, man, again.
Man, thanks for having me. Good to be back.
Thank you for the opportunity to Mr. Douglas. Mr. Douglas, how was the D-Cup season?
It was a disappointing season in the end for me.
Yeah?
We had some good moments, but in the end, we never accomplished our main goal, and that's a disappointment all around.
You were placed in a different zone this year, in the zone Denby and Clarendon College. You defeated Clarendon College and you were on your way. Tell me about the round in the first round.
In Clarendon, you will never have an easy zone. You
Mm.
might have an easier zone, but it's never an easy zone. There are a lot of teams in Clarendon that at some point or the other have challenged for the title and are maintaining a high standard even currently. So we're always prepared to battle, and we know that from the get-go, you have to be on your A game, or one slip up and you might be out from the first round.
Round of 32. How did you see round of 32? Tell me some of the teams you played there.
And in the round of 32, we played Dintil, Port Antonio, we played Dintil, Port Antonio, and was it Manchester?
Okay.
And
But you
Manchester.
came to round of 32 on a good stead to the round of 16. Would you say that?
Yeah, man, we got two victories, the draw, in the round of 32.
So victory then a draw.
Uh,
Round of 16. It was the round of 16 of no, there was the round of 8 you meet Otrius. So
yes.
you round of 16 you went through again.
Yeah, man, the round of 16 was, we had a 100% record in the round of 16.
100% record, yeah. Okay. That is why you went two games in the round of 8. You got two
Yeah,
home games.
yeah.
Tell me about the match with Otri now. I watched that match. Something happened with your goalkeeper. I must be honest to you, I'm a Ochi supporter. I was balling for Ochi on the channel. Ochi came to Clarendon and got a draw. I was happy. What happened in the game?
Well, it was a game where filled with incidents, and there
Mm.
was a major accident too, if I might say. Um, our goalkeeper got his jaw, mandible bone, was broken, I think, in two or three places. We went and visited him yesterday too. He had to do surgery, had to undergo surgery at the University Hospital, but he's back
Wow.
home now and recovering. But I think that might have been a factor
Mm.
because from that moment on, our season kind of went downhill.
Affected the team.
I
Yeah, I
think it
saw that
might have.
incident. He left the goal immediately,
Yeah,
and
man,
we were
he
all
directly to the
concerned.
hospital.
Wow, wow. So you think that took a toll on the team itself?
Yes, I think so. Not only psychologically, but the goalkeeper on the bench would have only played 45 minutes of competitive football
Mm.
prior to that incident.
But when the incident happened, because I was watching the Ochi game at Wembley, but the goalkeeper who came in, your substitute,
Right.
I actually gave him a lot of praise because I said he did something. He made I believe the mistake he made when the Ochi scored, but he said some.
Yes, man. Like I said, it's not the skill level at this stage of the competition now.
Mm.
It's about a new player coming in. For one, the defensive unit will have to adjust to him. And his anxiety in the goal, that calming influence behind the defenders makes a difference.
Make a difference.
And so it would have affected the chemistry of the team.
Basically you're saying you
Yeah,
miss your
yeah,
number one.
yeah. But we still should have pulled through in the Ocho game. We created enough chances in that game to have won the game. So even though Ochi scored a goal in the end, we should have put the game away from the first half. So we have to take responsibility for that too.
Coach Douglas, I ask coaches and been asking, I have a problem with it. I don't know you see it. You mentioned two games when you win your zone or so on. Do you think it is fair for other team to be traveling all over? Take a Ochiro for example, but like a Central was in, other teams was in because they win. Do you think say that boy, I'm on winning zone, so he needs something to go off that are How do you see that?
Well, we can all have ideas of how we want to see the thing being organized, you know. But when you have a zone with 14, it means that you will have 3 games.
Mhm.
Those 3 games will have to be played somewhere. And unless we can find neutral venues for all the teams to meet at the midpoint and play, some amount of traveling will have to be done.
Mhm.
We travel to Monroe, although we would have had a 100% record coming into that round. But
You still have to
we
travel.
still had to travel to Malvern to play Monroe.
And
So, I mean, it may seem as if there's an advantage for some teams, and there's a claim in cases where you can claim that some teams might rub off the green.
mhm.
But at some point, you will have to travel. I would have preferred not to travel to Monroe.
Mhm.
And haven't gotten maximum points from the previous round. You would expect that at least you would have been given the opportunity to play closer to home.
Mhm.
But when the draw came out, we saw that we were traveling to Monroe. So we had to prepare ourselves to go to Monroe.
Have to prepare yourself too.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm trying to get at is that so schools do not have a problem two home games, getting the games. So you go out to try to win your zone in order to get
To,
those
to,
home
to,
games.
to do that.
Okay, so everyone know that. Why is some school crying then? In the middle of the competition, some school are saying, boy, they don't understand this, and then why that problem?
Well, there are two schools of thought now. There is the ideal situation.
Mm.
So you have idealism versus realism. Ideally, everybody would want to have everything in their favor. But in
Mm.
reality, when you have a 3 game series, it's gonna be impossible for everybody to get home advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be good. So you have to decide now which team will benefit. And the formula that Israel is currently using is that team that wins the previous zone would have earned that advantage.
That advantage.
Yeah.
And you say advantage because I spoke with another coach and he's saying that boy, the man who come last can expect to get the same like what the man come.
Yeah, man. There must be some incentive for doing well. That's what sport is about. You
So,
run a race and you come first, you get gold medal. If you're in second, you get a silver.
so you don't have a problem with the formula then.
I don't have a problem with it as it is, and unless someone else can come up with something that will suit everyone that is participating in the competition. We just have to prepare ourselves to work. And our preparation is important. I never played a home game preseason.
Mm-hmm.
All my games in preseason were away. As I discovered that this was the format that was going to be used, and chances are you're going to have to travel.
Oh, okay. Okay. The Clarendon effect. Come again. The cup is in Clarendon. What so much about this Clarendon effect? Again, about for the past 5 years I'm counting.
It must be a question of is it that Clarendon is that strong, or the rest of the country is not pulling their weight? Because the schools in Clarendon invest a lot in football.
Yeah.
But outside of the schools in Clarendon, I don't think the youngsters in Clarendon play more football than anywhere else in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because until recently, there was limited football being played in Clarendon at any level.
Mm-hmm.
We have a primary school competition that Mr. Green has been running for a few years, but after that, there has been nothing. There was the under 15, under 17, and under 13 at one point. But the last time that was played, it was maybe 2019, 20, around there. So it's not like these youngsters are playing in competition like what is happening in Kasafa, for example. But the passion within the players in Clarendon and organization that the schools put into the programs, I think that is where the difference is.
Yeah, I was saying again to also in Clarendon, the zones are very tough. And when you leave those zones, you actually get a practice, you get good football. Do you think that contribute to it? I was giving an example of, say, a Lennon who don't come through. They still don't afraid of Clarendon College. Nobody afraid of anyone in Clarendon.
But it goes both ways. Um, it can be a situation where you're in a tough zone in Clarendon, and every match is like a final.
Yeah.
And so when you advance to the second round, you're tired. So you can have that situation as well. But in
Okay.
terms of competitiveness and having that competitive edge, when you play in a zone in Clarendon, you will play against maybe one or two of the teams that would have been earmarked as favorites to win the competition. You get good results against those teams, and psychologically, you think that you can beat anyone.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that is a factor. But in other instances, we have had situations where teams have been in zones where every game is like a final. And unless you have a big squad that you can rotate when you're playing every 3 days, it will take a toll on the players. So it can work for you and it can work against you. It's just how you manage the round and how you manage the players and how you prepare to.
So I was asking a question on my channel, who are the teams for next year? And Central name came up. People already target Central that they know you have a young team, they know you have backup plans. How is that for next season? You already a target man.
We love the underdog tag.
You love that.
Yes, man, I love the underdog tag. At the beginning of the season, no one gave us a chance.
Yeah.
I was watching the preview when the zones were released, and all the other teams were mentioned as possible teams coming out of the zone, and possible teams stopping the zone. And Central was not mentioned. In the pre-game show before the final, the opening game, a similar situation. And I was there and sitting, and I said to my assistant, but it's 2022 that we went to the finals, and these people are not giving us a chance of even leaving this zone. So it just says to us that we have work to do in terms of establishing Central as a household name in football in Jamaica.
You mentioned a household name, and let me ask you it a different way. You don't get the rating. Your piece, all right. There are some teams who is up there, and I don't like to call other teams' name in interviews. Yeah, they are up there. Some is at the middle level, and some is down there. Do you think would the term of bubbling? You're in the middle. People don't see Central as a big team.
Well, personally, for me, I'm not speaking from my personal preference on it. I don't mind. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the school and for the sake of the players who are putting in the work and putting in the sacrifice and getting results too, I think they deserve to be in the spotlight. I don't mind being in the background. I don't mind being the underdog.
But you're steady for the past, say, 4 years. Central is steady, going through Central, went to the final, Central is go through to the next round. So what is it that people not seeing you as that person, that team that will do well in the zone or in the cup?
I think one of the factors is that we are from a parish where we have had several teams that have done well in the past.
Yeah.
And are doing well still. So it's going to take more than just average performances in order to get yourself to be mentioned in the same breath as those teams. So we have not won a title as yet. And I think that is the next hurdle that we need to cross. And that was something that was said to the boys this year. Because when you look at it, how are we going to make the next mark on history? You can only do that by winning a title. We have been to finals. We went to the under 16 finals last year. We were in the Costa Cup finals in 2022. But we are yet to get over the line.
That's
and I think that is the next step for us to be mentioned as one of the teams. But for the time being, I will continue to sail underneath the radar. Once results are coming, I am good.
Do you see yourself, what do you say for next year? After that. Remember, they have you as a target team, so you can't say you don't have a team.
Well, let me tell you something about schoolboy football. You can't bank too much on what happened last season going into a new season. And the culture around there is not as deeply embedded as in other schools. So some of those, we have young players. We had young players on the team this year. Very young players too. But there's no guarantee that all these young players will return next year. Because we don't have that sort of culture where there's an alumni and persons will be going to the yard of the boys to say, hey, we need you back in school, having conversation with parents. All of that will have to be done by either myself or somebody else on the coaching staff. But incentives, though, these boys have to return to school when there are other things out there that are more attractive. Remember, education is not the most attractive thing to this generation.
Yeah.
So we can sit here and preach and encourage them and tell them the value of education and say, hey, you can come back and try and get a scholarship. But there are other things out there that mean more to them than all of that. So it's a challenge. If we look at what the squad is now, we have 5 players that played in the Acosta Cup this year. And we only had 22 players registered this year. But we have 5 of those players who can't return based on age. They are ineligible based on age. All the others are eligible. Some of them for the next 3 years. Will they still be here? That we can't guarantee.
You have no control.
No control over that.
Well, Coach Douglas, on a different matter now. You're in the Premier League, man. You're a coach in the Premier League, or is that?
Well, it's something that happened very quickly. But it's another challenge. And I believe that unless you continue to challenge yourself, you will become stagnant. And my philosophy always is that stagnant water tends to stink. So it's another challenge. We'll take it on, give it maximum effort, and then see what happens from there.
Do you get the objective of staying in the Premier League, winning the Premier League, settling the team?
Well, where we are now, and where I would have taken over, the first objective has to be to stay in the Premier League.
Stay in the Premier League.
Anything after that is bonus. It's not far away, and you still can accomplish a lot out of the season. When you look at the table and the points that separate top from top 6, and the bottom from top 6 rather, there are things that can be accomplished, but the primary objective has to be to stay in the league, consolidate, and then see what happens from there.
Coach Douglas, thank you very much. Jermaine Douglas, it's been a pleasure, sir, talking to you, coming by Central High School. I'm actually in his office, you know. Don't play with Mr. Douglas, you know. Yeah? And thank you for being a friend of Island up in Fort Sir.
Yeah,
From foundation, we are climbing each day, so you were there and you were always there.
Yeah, man, I love the growth of the channel.
Yes, man.
Love the growth of the channel, so continue putting in the good work.
Yeah, man. And as I say, always say Central is a friend, you know, so we always be looking out for Central, right? We wish you all the best. You know, and you said it, you said, you think you need a title in your belt to get that respect.
Yeah,
and people will start to look and take Central seriously. They're already looking, but until you get that hole and that title. And it's not far away because the program is good. Once again, thank you. Thank you for liking, for sharing, and for subscribing to Island Up in Fort. I'm behind the camera today. The man you're seeing is Mr. Jermaine Douglas, the man at Central High School, the Acosta Cup team, and he take on a new venture too in the National Premier League. We wish him all the best. Until then, take care.